you want to learn how to make passive trees for your own Path of Exile builds? And you are not afraid to do a little bit Path of Exile? Alright, let's go! After choosing one or two skills to build around and choosing what form of defenses and damage mitigation you want to use, you have to make a passive tree. The main concept I use to evaluate pathing on the passive tree, as well as whether a cluster or notable is worth taking or not, is comparing it to what the average passive node would give me per point spent. For example, a pure life node usually gives you 5% maximum life increase. There are some 6% and some 4% nodes, but the average is still around 5%. So in this case we take 5% as our baseline. When doing this comparison, you also have to take into account traveling nodes. In this example, when taking the devotion life cluster, we would have to travel 1 point on the strength node. So altogether we get 6 plus 8 plus 6% equals 20% life for 4 points. 20 divided by 4 equals 5% life per point, so it holds up to our baseline. This can also be applied to all the nodes and notables that grant a combination of stats. Just convert every single stat on the node separately to how many baseline nodes it is worth. Let's take the Snowforge cluster as an example. As a cold damage crit build, you do not benefit from fire damage, so we ignore that stat. You get 8 plus 10 plus 25 equals 43 divided by 3 points spent equals 14% cold damage per node, which is above the 10 to 12% baseline, and you get 10% crit chance per point on top of it. So for each point spent on the cluster, on average, we get half of a crit node plus 1.2 cold damage nodes. That means even if you add 2 points of travel to the cluster, you still get more than an average node for each passive point. Now there are some exceptions to this. For example, certain thresholds a build has to hit in both offenses and defenses in order for it to be playable. Often you will have to forego some efficiency to be able to hit those thresholds at all, such as having enough life to survive in maps. The same is true for stats with limited availability on the passive tree, like AoE increases or keystones that your build might require. The trick with those is to get as many efficient nodes as possible within the vicinity of the required ones, to make an overall efficient passive tree. With this basic concept at your disposal, you should be able to create builds in any upcoming Path of Exile patch. And even if the passive tree completely changes, this concept will still hold up. If you enjoyed the video, subscribe for more content in the future. I am Yoji, and I will see you soon.